Got ourselves LOAs coming back in from last week. I like your Mog. I like this whole set. The pants in particular I'm a huge fan of. I actually made a Mog over in PTR from a Rogue with it, using some of the newer items too. It looks great. Huge fan of that. Saya, love the full trench coat. I'm so glad I did the full grind for that thing. It looks so good, man. Even like in the past two match with the two, absolutely just devoid where the legs are. We got Cooper coming back in. I like that. I actually have not been able to do anything to with those like trading post skirts or whatever, but that looks good. We got ourselves Leah. We got ourselves Miko. Where are you, Miko? There you are. Oh, changing things up a little bit. Normally go full challenge mode set with like the horns and everything. Saya first up versus Young. Immediately the mage is gonna have to put the pally in an absolute lockdown. Let Saya run amok for a little long. And he's immediately going to try to see if he can capitalize on it. Stun onto Young, immediate blink, but he does close the gap enough to get himself full damage, full setup going. Full Dawn Light, letting the dot rot. That dot rot actually is so good in 1v1 setting. I feel like the dot rot is okay in like solos from any powers that I've seen, but it doesn't seem to be like super threatening on its own. It can be kind of okay, but in a 1v1 setting where there's not much healing going on, unless you play like a self-healer class, it is really effective. Mages do have plenty of survivability though. Saya making sure to get his licks in whenever he can, does commit towards Young. That is going to be a great invis for a second, big damage reduction, and it's going to be a quick poly. Does get a setup, trinket out for Saya, still got himself a bubble in case he needs to, land hands in case he needs to, forcing a block out of Young, just letting the dots do a lot of that work. You made a guy to that and met him. Watch out, build in English, or someone asked for it. Yo, let's go, Toxie. You want to come in tonight? We can probably get you in here, yeah? Last week, dude, you were just like, yo, can I get a game to play? And we were packed, man. I definitely want to get you in tonight as well. And yeah, I would love to see it, man. I definitely would want to see it. I want to see what the hell you do with that thing, because it looks nuts. It looks so good. Assassination looks insane. Big Ray of Frost, bubble out for Saya. Does go for a kick. Actually gets miss it. Young still super low on health. Does get it. So the precog, but it's just not much that you can follow up afterwards with Saya having full immunity. Second block on a Young. That is a lot of trades. For Young, that's a lot of recovery. For Saya still has a lay on hands, but I think this is actually the right move for Young. I don't think there's another way for him to get around this play. Does trinket out. No kick on Searing Glare, but that blind will no longer be a setup play. As long as he can have a blink for the next stun so he can never get Searing Glared, he's going to be a-okay. All he needs to do is do that. If he can even get a catch a blink interrupt as the size mid Searing Glare, that would actually also be really good for him. He could potentially set something up off of that breath. Saya no longer has a trinket. Only has lay on hands. This could be an opportunity. Hold on, is this a big one shot? Full stun. Saya is actually under a ton of pressure. Whoa, no, the second. Oh my god. He doesn't even go for lay on hands yet. He's still just trying to see if he can live with just his own self-healing. That was a lot of damage taken, but he has no other way to counter it. He just doesn't have any counters. Young continuing to pelt him with a bunch of glances. It's just going to be in more flurries, but still, look at the Paladin damage, man. The constant pressure. The constant sustain is just absolutely unplayable. Or rather, it's like uncounterable. Once you get the dot on you, it's over. It's there. Sabo. Point Sabo. Is that Sabo? Sabo what? Sabo, I don't even know. But Sabo is it on these as a demon hunter this time around. I'm trying to figure out like Sabo. Tuga? I don't even know what that's supposed to be at the end. I have no idea. I have no clue, but it's trying to see if he can get himself a hunter on the corner. Saya got himself plenty of mobility, trying to cycle in. Dawn Lights defensively. That is another huge thing that Palace can use for what he wants. Again, Palace, you guys have said multiple times, not great in like team sports, but a pretty great in 1v1 content. The amount of self-healing you can play around for the longevity, the survivability build of a Herald of the Sun is amazing. Does get himself plenty of damage on the Sabo, who's trying to see if he can make a play, but Saya with a quick wake of Ash's combo takes him out, wipes him out clean and quickly. Blackie is going to be up next. I love how aggressive Survival Hunters can be, by the way, and I'm expecting this man to go full-on big burst damage. Blessing a sink down Saya really early. Does get knocked by a trap out in the open for a moment, but Blackie was not really in a position to follow up there. Does go for a wall, looking to engage, looking to close the gap. Stun into a trinket for Blackie, and Saya just playing defensive here. He just trying to wait out until the next Hodge is available. That or a blind into a Searing Glare. but she possibly still can apply, actually. Black taking lots of damage, bending buntage for a second, does go for flank strike. Turtle shuttle right after, I think just trying to see if you can maybe evade or predict like a blind setup combo. Fear of the Eagle doing a bit of decent damage. Into Harpoon, lay on hands for Saya, does get him some big resets. And for Black, he's actually not in a great spot right now health-wise. Still melting to a dot? Yeah, he's still melting to some kind of a dot. First aid, but he does get broken really, really quickly. Binding shot with a knockback around the corner. That's some combo, actually. But a Wake of Ashes, yeah, there's just not much you can do to counteract that easily, man. I think if I play tonight, I'll be home late. All right, it's all good, Toxie. Yeah, if you get in, man, we'll definitely want to get you in on these as soon as possible. Kadam is going to be up next, this time as a MM Hunter versus Saya. Bubble and Bop are coming back up and almost available. Trinket back up, and so this Hunter is, this Paladin is back up to full speed right now. This is him back at his peak. The only thing that's holding him behind right now is 24% dampening. Will that be enough? Kadam is a marksman. That is a lot of damage. Big burst out in the opener. Got him some big aim shots to crack through the Shield of Vengeance. Does land a stun into a blind right after. Freezing Trap waiting for him. But he is actually blinded with the Searing Glare to the point where even the Freezing Trap is not going to connect. Kadam trying to see if he can get himself a couple of black arrow shots here and there. Volley around the corner. Science trying to see if he can close the gap. Bustical protection can be removed easily. Science does not have much to really work with here unless he just goes in for a bubble. That is a full turtle shell out of Kadam. Has some potentially decent damage. Silence of Messiah. It's a rapid fire. Oh, wait a second. Did Silence stop him? Hold on. Did the Silence stop the bubble? Or does Saya not run their one talent that allows him to bubble while forbearance is up? Hold on a second. Or they kind of just sneak in some of the biggest bursts out there and Saya kind of greeted it. I'm not even sure. Well done either way. Someone had to shut down the Paladin. Otherwise, like, I was going to run amok. That was going to be Saya's, dude. That was going to be Saya's perfect 1v5 moment there. And Kadam just takes it away from him. But now Kadam is going to be a little behind. No turtle, no heal. Playing against a Frost Death Knight Leo. Got himself a volley around the corner. Rapid fire does connect, blind for Leo. Trying to see if he can get him for some full setup. Slows completely onto Kadam. He's going to end up got a grip and plus hit him with a grippy hand. Cannot really help that one. Got him some the most about it. Not playing the Remorseless Winter's. No, wait, yes, he is. Yes, he is playing the big Remorseless Winter stun. Kadam just trying to see if he can avoid his best possible stun. Just going to cancel it just so he can get some mobility. Kadam does burn one more wall. That's going to give him a small excel. But he's kind of out of options right now unless he goes in for CC. Big cleaves down for Leo as he goes in for yet another grip. Second cleave. Oh, how many of those scythe cleaves did you get there? Was that 3 in a row? Did you just get the luckiest combos there ever? I feel like he got 3 in a row. Plus trying to see if he can take out Leo very, very quickly. Drop it down to AMZ. Not a lot of health to work with here. 36% dampening. Not going to make this easy whatsoever. DK, dude, the grippy hand, he literally has a mind of its own. He's just going to grip and plus. He has literally nothing to do with it. He literally can't control it. The hand have a mind of its own. But I think Leo, yeah, does go down. There just isn't much of death they can do. Once a rogue is on him, just continuing to land those shadow strikes and eviscerates back to back. Koopa tried to see if he can go for a bleed build. Plus, just catch him with a gouge into a cheap shot. This is an opportunity for Plush to maybe make some kind of a big play. This could be massive. Big secret technique. Huge eviscerates. Blind to follow. Plush. Does see Koopa go for a Cloak of Shadows? I think he's still bled up though, right? Yeah, he definitely still bled up if you get a Rupture on him. As he goes in for a bit of fan. Evasion up for Koopa. Plush also has an evasion, has a blind. Koopa has a trinket in case he needs to. Plush can still get himself some kind of a setup. Blind into a sap that's actually worked out really well. Normally you don't really get a proper sap out of a blind. Get another sap. Getting this shot is going to be tricky. Gouge to follow. Plush does have a disarm. Does Koopa go in full damage? That is all bleeds. That is everything available. So Plush needs to live. I don't know if he can though. It's just going to be one in Venom. Disarm for disarm. Plush is just melting still. He does have Shadow Blades. He's just going to have a go immediately. First aid to catch up whatever health he can, but doesn't matter. Koopa just goes back in there for the quick Venom. That was beautiful. The amount of damage you did just for 3 targets, 100 million just for 3 players, is some work, by the way. That is some work right there. That is a lot. Let's get another one going, boys. Plush as well as Johnny. Let me know when the boys are ready. We'll get another one going.